So Pasher. Now you can go back to what is that kind of more typical three-man front for the Indy 11. Kelly, Enevolts, and Pasher. And you also probably expect to see Tyler Gibson slide back into more of that central midfielder's role.
Well, I think everything that Coach Rennie was saying is articulated in the stats. You know, you referenced the possession. What was that, 68% to 30?
Yeah.
So you outpossess a team more than 2-1 if my math is correct, and yet the statistics are even as far as shots. You know, it should be slanted very, very differently. So what it says is you've got the ball, but you're not creating opportunities. You're not doing enough dangerous things with the ball.
And the always quick left-footed combination, Iose and Pasher. Pasher immediately plays across that Kuzminski could not clear. However, last touch by Kelly. Goal kick coming for Charleston.
You take a look at that. What a great sub. You know, here we are 1 minute into the match. It already starts to create an opportunity.
Pasher on the season. This is his 8th appearance, his 3rd as a sub. Does have 1 goal. That came in the 3-0 victory against the Bethlehem Steel back on April the 20th. That was the last league win for the Indy 11. Opportunity here now for Charleston. Mario Piggott with the ball at his feet for the Battery. Finds Kotaro Higashi. And as they have all season long, when you start to sense kind of a transition opportunity for the opposing team, the Indy 11 do a great job of, after a touch or two, quickly shutting it down. Last time that this team was scored against was by the New York Red Bulls 2. That was their last loss back on Sunday, April the 28th. No coincidence that Tom Barlow factored into that decision for the Red Bulls. He's only got 8 goals to lead the league coming into tonight's play.
I like this move to go back to 3 up top for the 11. You know, when you take a look at it, they've played the, you know, virtually every minute with 3 forwards this season.
Pasher, Kelly,
touch,
Enevoltson. Yeah, this has more or less been a 3-4-3 team all season long.
And the question you always ask yourself as a coach is, at what point do we say, look, we're going to play this way and you're going to have to adjust to us and we're going to be great at what we do, versus what kind of wrinkles do we throw in based on opponents? And there's not a right answer, there's not a wrong answer. But certainly the amount of minutes they've played in the 3-4-3, this is a more comfortable feel for them right now.
Kelly wants the ball back post. Hackshaw tries to oblige, couldn't get it to it, as Van Schaik and Mueller combined to get in the way. Good challenge by Gibson. Marini wanted the foul call, didn't get it. Mueller got a boot to it. Pasher, the closest player there for the Indy 11. 3 behind the ball for Indy. These two, when they play again, it'll be in September. And the 11 will visit on a Saturday night, September the 7th, to the Low Country.
I'd be willing to bet that that game is going to have massive impact.
That'll be about 6 weeks out from the end of the season. And we've talked about this, how the Indy 11 have been a game or 2 behind in terms of games played. They really don't catch up on that until September and October. They have a slew of midweek games to end the year. In other words, the Indy 11 will kind of have that nugget of being able to catch 3 and 6 points on some teams in front of them for most of the season. Higashi finds a seam. The turn, shot doesn't get through.
Great positioning by Hackshaw.
Of all the many skills that Neville has, he is phenomenal at just that. This time of year, we talk about shots blocked. We tend to talk about teams in, say, a Stanley Cup final series. The Indy 11 have been great at that skill all year long. Pasher already joined the mix as a sub. The other subs available for Martin tonight: Mitch Osmond, Matt Watson, Macaulay King, Emerson Nieto, and Alioune Jahate. Jahate got the start on Wednesday, but when the change had to be made in goal, he exited in the 20th minute. And again, Charleston, that sideline's been tricky for the Battery tonight.
I'll tell you, they've had the opportunities. They've pulled the ball off of turnovers in the middle third a number of times, and they're just missing on that pass to send a guy in with the 11 exposed a bit defensively.
And Pasher will be whistled for the foul as Higashi goes to the turf, and Pasher will see a yellow card. So the first yellow of this match will go to Tyler Pasher. He earns it some 5 minutes in. Take another look at the offense by Pasher. Oh my gosh, he's still feeling the effects of it. Fans, this portion of the match brought to us by the Denny Companies, tearing down the past so you can build the future. Enevoldsen flicks it forward for Pasher. When Pasher thought the ball was going out wide, Enevoldsen went more of traditional route one that time.
Well, you got Pasher and Kelly both in the center of the field. You just knock it forward, and you've got pace that can chase it down.
Basawa can't clear Hackshaw, but does earn a corner. And this is the first corner of the match for the Battery. Indy only had one in the opening 45. By the way, this portion of the match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, and finish strong.
One more time, boys. Come on, one time.
Candela to take the corner for the Battery. Flecked, and Newton ready for the challenge. That was Mueller.
Veteran ball by Mueller just to get that on frame.
And much as the North Carolina match 2 weeks ago, nothing, and all of a sudden it's there. In other words, it was limited traffic for Newton in the opening 45 minutes. Kelly got ahead to that ball first to allow Indy 11 to reset defensively. Looking back post, and Anunga would like to have that one back. Wasn't much of a window there, but still he'd like to have a better effort than that one. Quick restart here by Newton. Mention the fact that just 5 subs available for Coach Anhauser and the Battery. Obviously 4 of those are field players, but namely Ian Svantesson. If you include the Open Cup, 6 matches, 5 goals this year. Turnover here, 3v3. Space left, and Barrett made that play look easier than it was. Daly, Svantesson, Mason, and Lewis, the field players available. Now Pasher letting some teammates cycle forward here. So we'll hit the reset button to Ioze. Gibson.
Well, they are tough to break down.
Trying to find just a little bit of space for Kelly, but there's little of anything there.
Yeah, they got 5 back with bringing their outside mids back, and then they got 3 in a front screen in front of that back 5. There's no channels, no lanes. They're very disciplined in how tightly they stay connected.
Pasher wants the ball wide and gets it accordingly from Iose. Pasher plays it across. Enevoldsen!
Oh, my goodness.
Thomas Enevoldsen loves the idea. Just couldn't keep it on frame.
And that's one of those ones right there that you wait, you possess, you wait for the opportunity. And here, Piggott leaves Pasher to go press Iose, and he gets caught in no man's land. Iose finds the space for Pasher, who delivers a great ball to Enevoldsen.
Looking for his 2nd goal of the week. Potential turnover here. See what Pasher can do with it. Iose slides that between 2 defenders. Kelly again the target. The buildup has been there for the Indy 11, just not the decisive finishing touch. They slowly work numbers forward here. Iose goes down, asking for contact, won't get it because he puts his hands on the ball. It'll be a foul going in the other direction.
That's really good build-up by the 11. You know, you're going to have to do some things that are a little bit non-conventional. So you've got Iose that is popping into these seams in between these box of defenders for the Battery, and they're just looking to play little combinations to see which defender is going to bite on that ball, and then can they exploit the space that he comes from.
Fans get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for Indy 11, then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on the 11's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for more on your club. From a tactic standpoint, what can you change? What do you want to change if you're Indy 11 head coach Martin Renning?
Well, I think Pasher's made an immediate impact. So finding his space and letting him run and seeing if he can get that early serve in has been very effective. I also like the little adjustment. I don't know if it's one that tactically came from the bench or something Iose has seen about him popping into these little pockets between defenders. I think you've been effective on both of those.
Possession 70% for the Indy 11. Pasher weaving his way through traffic. Just couldn't get back onto that ball in time. But you saw the tremendous skill of Tyler Pasher on display to match that speed.
Just electric. What a decoy. What a ball that he lets run there, and then if he doesn't get that little arm held, and that's 2 by Archer. You know, you talked about you weren't gonna call it on Kelly because it was kind of a half chance. These things do get into an official's brain. Okay, it's a half chance on Kelly. Here's a quarter chance on Pasher. I think the next time Archer's going to reach out and grab somebody, that could be a whistle, could be a card.
I mean, this has largely been a whistle-free game. Won't be in time for this corner. As Candela sends it in, looking back post, and Enevoldsen got there first for the Indy 11. And well done by Enevoldsen, just to buy some time in real estate. Good read by Anunga. He talked about this with Kuzminski, but I think it applies to the entire team. This is a team that has done their homework in the video room as to where a lot of these passes for the Indy 11 like to go. And Hackshaw will shepherd that ball successfully for a goal kick for Evan Newton.
I mean, a tip of the hat to Coach Anhauser and you know, the way that they do prepare for the game. You look anytime it's in transition, you've got heads that are turning to find Ida Voltson and find Kelly where they are, where their space is.
This Sports the Match is presented by Delta Faucet. Delta Faucet, see what Delta can do. Pasher turns on the Jets. Tries to keep that ball in play. Gets to it. But Mueller watches it trickle harmlessly over the end line for a goal kick. And now we will see that substitution for Kieran Mason. And Mason will be brought on, giving Dante Marini. Mason new to Charleston Battery, but from Trinidad and Tobago. He played for W Connection. Of course, they are missing Charleston Battery, one of their top players, their top player from last year, and Atula Guerra, who had 15 goals last year. He is still on the roster, but has had travel issues getting back into the country. So he has not played for Charleston this year, and the fact they've won 4 and lost just 1 again speaks to the successful team model Mike Anhauser has built with the Battery.
And think about the confidence builder that is. You've got a 15-goal scorer that's going to be returning at some point to you this season.
Bit of a casual pass at the back. Almost led to a chance for the Battery. Great read by Iose. And Pasher, turf monster, got him. He was setting up his next move, and to use the Indy 500 analogy, blew a tire making the turn. Fans for standings, stats, and all the latest league news, be sure to visit USLChampionship.com. Ever since maybe to say the first 10 minutes, possession has been in favor of the Indy 11.
I tell you, really, you've got to catch the Battery before they can get their back line and then their front screen set, because they give you nothing.
Iose, great turn, just couldn't keep it at his feet. Hackshaw a stumble, but a foul is given as the reason for that stumble against Basua. Look at the last foul that sent Hackshaw tumbling. You kind of see the tail end of it.
Yeah, you can see the frustration, because there's been a couple of these inadvertent guys getting their feet tangled up, and a couple of them haven't been called.
Opportunity here. This is the youngster in Mason. Pasher with him step for step. Higashi.
Good touch.
Couldn't get the shot through. We said something earlier about blocking shots. There's Patty Barrett doing it again. Overlapping run by Piggott. And again, a ball he'd like to have back.
You know, the blocking shots, it's an art. I mean, you have to understand, you know, the player. You have to understand what foot they want it on, where the shot's about to come from, and you've got to make sure that you're not, you know, screening your goalkeeper.
Things tilting a bit now in favor of the Battery. And Newton can rather easily track that one down. You see Candela. He has played in now 9 of the 10 league matches for the Battery this season. By the way, Mason, their substitution, he is making his Charleston Battery debut, at least in league play. Pasher and Archer get tied up again. And Archer's doing a great job of being physical, but avoiding a whistle inside of the 18.
He is right on that line.
And you see Martin Rennie is lobbying for a potential whistle against the defender for the Battery.
He actually read it right. I mean, he had the right read on it. He had the right pace that he didn't have to commit the foul. He was able to get a little bit of position and get shoulder to shoulder with Pasher.
By the way, Ian Svantessen is about to enter for the Charleston Battery, which means their scoring propositions will likely increase when Svantessen joins the mix. 2 goals in 20+ minutes to keep Charleston in the U.S. Open Cup on Wednesday night. By the way, they will play at Nashville in 2 weeks, will the Battery. And Basawa gets directed towards the ground, and that will be another yellow card showing towards the Indy 11, and that will go to Patty Barrett. So second yellow of the half for the Indy 11. First against Pasher, that one against Barrett. And now Svantessen will enter. To Brian Onunga will exit. Second sub for the Battery, and look at the foul that allows the stoppage. And I thought it was against Barrett. It may be against Dane Kelly.
And not a bad foul. What you prevented there was Ouimet having to make a decision to either step to the ball or stay in the space to protect the run.
And again, that foul was on Kelly, so the yellow shown to Kelly, not Patty Barrett. So there is Svantessen. Last year, 4 goals for the former UAB Blazer. And it's 6'6", quite a target. But again, Neville Hackshaw very familiar with him from a season ago.
Oh, that's an incredible ball.
Kelly and Enevoldsen to his right. Pasher crosses to Enevoldsen. Enevoldsen tries to slide it through, ends up bouncing off of Kelly.
Just took too long. Just took too long to develop. Got 6 guys back.
By the way, this Sports the Match brought to us by Honda Manufacturing of Indiana, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. And that'll be a foul against Indy. Barrett with the shoulder to Higashi. So just one more sub available for the Battery. And again, if it's a field player, it's either Daly or Lewis. They brought just 4 field players and their backup netminder for tonight's match. And Hackshaw and Svantessen. Hackshaw has not let Svantessen out of his sight since entering the match a couple of minutes ago, and that'll be a foul against the Battery. Fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level in the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. And a goal-scoring chance denied for the Indy 11.
Wow, what a great ball by Farias to find Enevoldsen at the top of the box.
The takeaway by Barrett. Player down at the other end for the Charleston Battery, but the takeaway by the Battery. So we play on with a man down currently for Charleston. Svantessen points to a spot. Hackshaw gets in his way. Newton swallows it up, and now will we stop? Yep, now we'll go back behind the play.
And what a great read by Hackshaw on that, understanding You know, he's played with Ian for a number of years, so he understands the run. He understands the space that he wants, and just gets in his way, marshals it back, and allows Newton to come and collect the ball.
Let's go back to the last scoring chance for the Indy 11.
Look at that ball.
And Mueller able to steer that ball away. And again, the veteran move, get those hands behind your back immediately. He's done this for a few years.
You know, it was textbook. You know, he took up part of the goal, and he, you know, allowed the goalkeeper to slide into the near post and know that the back post was going to be covered a little bit by his body. You got a 20-goal scorer who's got a knack for putting that ball on frame.
Everybody taking advantage of this hydration break. First-year assistant coach Juan Guerra firing up the troops on the sidelines. Newton potentially 20-ish minutes away from his 42nd shutout as a goalkeeper at the USL Championship level. He'd like to do it, though, in an effort that nets his team 3 points and not 1. For the native of Virginia Beach, Virginia. We referenced the fact that he got a chance to go around the 2-seater on Thursday at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He is a big-time Formula One fan. Got that from his dad, so I know the opportunity to be out there at the historic Indianapolis Motor Speedway meant a lot to Evan. Many members of the team had their chance to go to the track on Thursday and debut those racing Indy jerseys, which we were able to showcase to get halftime. Kelly, the target. Mueller came up worse for wear on the collision behind the play, and now referee sees it. And again, because it was head-to-head contact, and there might be some blood coming from the nose of Mueller from the looks of it. So even though that kind of stopped a potential scoring chance for Charleston, they'll stop things immediately. So we had 0 added time at the end of the first half with subs, and now this stoppage. We will have some at the end of this half. Let's take a look. Again, nothing there from a foul standpoint,
nope.
Just part of the game.
Yep.
Now, if they can't get this stopped, they don't want to make him the final sub. They will play temporarily a man down.
And that's a guy you do not want off the field unless he says, I just can't go.
Well, I don't think it's a health issue. I think it's more of a stop the blood issue.
There have been guys that have played 8 years with a franchise before. And so, you know, that's not a rarity. But 8 years with the same franchise and the same coach, that's a rarity. And the same assistant coach.
A little bit of fight doctor work is going on here currently.
Love it.
You don't have to come out at least momentarily, but they get the blood cleaned up and make sure it's stopped.
There's nothing that rallies your team and motivates your team more than your captain shoving gauze up his nose.
And I can't say that I had great familiarity with Mueller's nose before tonight's game. I'm not sure it was in the shape it was a couple of minutes ago.
It has a unique look to it tonight.
I would say it's lost its shape after meeting Mr. Kelly a couple of minutes ago. And immediately Coach Anhauser says, yep, just go to the fourth official. Go straight away.
Anhauser's just pointing at midfield.
No need to talk to me. I know what you got. Go back.
Love it. 2 warriors right there.
They'll try to get the blood stopped on the sidelines, which tells me also Charleston will slow the pace down a little bit while they're playing a man down. So Mason rotates to the back line currently with Mueller out of the game for Charleston. Can Indy take advantage? Great read by Patterson. That's where Farias wanted the ball. Patterson just got there first.
Yeah, that ball's got to be overhit. The one thing that will get you is that sustained possession where your midfield starts pressing forward, your forwards are deep, and then all of a sudden you have a ball that's under hit and in a lane that becomes a toe. Oh my
What
goodness.
a ball from Iose.
Oh
Leaves it for Enevoltson, but couldn't get there in time. Van Schaik clears it. And Mueller is continuing to be worked on the Charleston sideline. So again, the Indy 11 temporarily playing with a man advantage. Right now, 5 at the back for the Battery. Kelly looking to make the turn. The lone Indy 11 goal in this building, an own goal on March the 31st. Trying to change that right now. Mueller thinks he's ready to continue. We wait for a signal from the referee to wave him on. It won't happen as long as this possession continues. Patterson, great read. And now Mueller back into the fray quickly for the Battery.
And Charleston handled that very, very well.
Kelly was offside.
Let him possess, knock it around, keep him away from anything dangerous, and manage that very, very well.
This Sports the Match brought to us by for the Battery. Pasher has Hackshaw going forward, but not on the same page. He had broken off the run right as Pasher sent him the ball. The Indy 11 are back here next Saturday night. They'll break out their new Racing Indy kits when they play host to Nashville SC. 7 o'clock kickoff. If you cannot make it to Lucas Oil Stadium, you can watch the match on MyIndy TV or on ESPN+. The demand for those jerseys has been just tremendous. Brad and I had those ones we showcased to you at halftime. We promised Trey Higgin we'd give them back. We are likely to go back on our word.
Absolutely.
But a foul has been called against Ouimet for a hold.
Tough when you've got 6'6" in the box right now. This lines up very, very well to knock one back post.
Well, you see Hackshaw, and it's Svantes, and it's right off his hip. So Hackshaw and Ouimet immediately. Number 9 there just inside of the D at the 8-yard line of the football markings. That you'd have to think is the preferred target for the Battery. Van Schaik will send it in. And it's like Hackshaw played there for the last 3 years. He knew exactly where that ball was going. At the feet, Piggott. And again, there's Hackshaw yet again.
Well, he is so solid.
One of the early free agent acquisitions for the Indy 11 during the offseason. Again, 2 goals, but he's more in the goal prevention business. And he and his mates along the back line have been tremendous at that as of late. And that effort sails wide by the Battery.
Answer me this. Doesn't matter how many games the 11 play in a week, how stressful, how back and forth those games are. It does not look like Neviel Hackshaw ever gets tired.
I think it's the hair. Pasher going forward. Pasher looking back post, but didn't hit that ball the way he wanted to. Fans, to be sure to tune in on Wednesday at 8 o'clock for Wednesday Night Soccer, as league newcomers Birmingham Legion FC welcome Nashville SC for an I-65 rivalry. It's the week's best match on Wednesday Night Soccer this coming Wednesday, May 22nd at 8 o'clock, and it's on ESPN News. We're as solidly as the Indy 11 have played in the month of May. And they really want to get 3 points tonight. That's obvious in every match, but great effort. Little to show for it from a goals perspective. And again, if you get 3 tonight, you know that at worst you're 6 points back of the first place team in the Eastern Conference. Again, even as early as we've talked about it is still in this season, you don't want to lose touch by, say, more than a couple of games worth of points to the front runners in your conference.
Especially when, as you mentioned, a lot of those games that you're going to make up ground on are midweek games, so you're playing on short rest.
Flag went up. Indy 11 does have full rest coming up on Saturday night when they play host to Nashville. Indy entered tonight 6 points back of both Tampa Bay and Red Bulls 2. Pasher again slips behind the defense, plays it across, but directly into the waiting arms of Kuzminski.
You got to wonder if Pasher is feeling a little bit of Wednesday night, because the last 2 times that they found him out on the wing, he's been shoulder to shoulder with either Mason or Archer, and he's not turned the corner. He's looked for the early serve.
Reference the fact that Indy 6 points back of both Tampa Bay and Red Bulls 2. Those two are playing each other tonight. Tampa Bay currently a 1-0 lead in that match. Throw in coming here. By the way, Matt Watson about to enter for the Indy 11. Going to replace Nico Mattern. Solid effort by Nico tonight. But Matt Watson will enter the match. And could Matt find a late goal for Indy this evening? So both teams with 1 substitution available. The flick by Enevoldsen.
Yeah, there's just no room. There's just no room. You got to try and catch him before they get set.
Bit of a real estate ball that time by Svantesson. Wherever you go, fans, you can take the boys in blue with you. Download the all-new Indy 11 app in the Apple Store, or you can get it on Google Play. The song remains the same. Find Pasher, find space, left side. Sets up some space. Plays it across. And finds the back of the net. Ricochets it off Kuzminski. First Indy 11 home goal since March 31st. And now a chance to get the full 3 in front of the home crowd.
Great finish. Great finish. Kuzminski cheated just a little bit. He had the angle, he had the near post. All he has to do is stand up to that ball.
And for the Charleston Battery fans, it is almost the exact same fashion in which they got the game-winning goal on Wednesday night against Greenville, when it looked like there wasn't much space. Not a cross, takes the shot, ricochets off the shoulder, and Pasher his 2nd goal of the season.
And you take a look at the value of Dane Kelly on that ball. He's sitting in the middle of the box. He's in Kuzminski's peripheral vision. That is the reason that he is not covering that near post, is he has to be ready for that ball that gets slotted across the box.
And credit to Pasher, it had been cross, cross, cross. Picked the right time to take the shot. Zico Lewis, by the way, will become the final substitution for the Battery. Again, out there chasing a goal to try to get at least a point out of this. Lewis, who played his professional soccer in Iceland last year, will enter the fray for the Battery.
Not only is he leading them in every offensive statistical category, but check this out. In college, he was captain as a sophomore, junior, and senior. Do you realize what kind of leadership you have to just have genetically to have your guys vote you every year?
When these two teams played last year, there were a lot of goals scored after the 80th minute. Could we see that again tonight? Lewis, 3 goals and 2 assists. You reference his college days. He played at Boston College. Zico's got ties to the island of Bermuda as well. So he's the 3rd and final substitution, and they've all been of an attack-minded nature for Coach Anhauser and the Battery. Do you change at all how you play this game now tactically if you're the Indy 11?
I'd like to sit in a little bit more. You've got the 3 points in hand. You've got to navigate the last 3.5 minutes. Plus, I'm thinking there's probably about 5 in extra time. So you don't want to get too stretched. So I like this move. Pasher's tucked back a little bit into the midfield. I think that's going to help. You don't need his pace up top right now.
Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time, brought to you by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. I think you and I had a conversation either during a broadcast or off the air. Weren't sure if this was going to be the same team that could win games 1-0 the way the Indy 11 did last year. Kelly trying to look for a second goal to give a little bit of breathing space. Played across. Ina Voltsen.
Wow.
Could not steer it on frame.
What a ball. What a ball by Dane Kelly, and a great run by Ina Voltsen.
And then Kuzminski's clearance inadvertently ricochets off of Ina Voltsen. So now it'll go back to a goal kick here for Kuzminski.
Love that passion.
So it makes the Dane great, is it not?
Absolutely. They are a fiery lot.
And this is my weekly reminder to our viewing audience that do not know Brad's backstory the way I do. Played professionally in Denmark. Wife is from Denmark. Mason.
Take your time, take your time, take your time.
It's the young decision.
And asks for at least a card there. Looks like he's not going to get it, but frankly, a stoppage in play is a good thing for the Indy 11 at this point.
And I'd say impressive job of coaching by Coach Anhauser there. You listened to him, Coach Mason, on that ball. It wasn't an elevated tone, wasn't an aggressive tone. Just said, hey, take your time, take your time, take your time. That's coaching not just in this moment, but that's making sure you don't lose the player later on.
And there was a yellow card eventually given in that scenario. Didn't see it at first, but first yellow of the match to go against the Battery. And not exactly a lot of numbers being thrown forward right now by the Indy 11. Not at all a surprise.
Mr. Kelly will finish this game on an island.
And we have been told there's still plenty of time left in this match. 5 minutes of stoppage time. 5 minutes left of stoppage time once we get to the end of the 90. Just seconds from now.
The last time they played here was it was 2 goals in the last
Correct.
5
One
minutes.
for each side. One for Iose. And an answer on a long run by Neville Hackshaw to set it up for the Charleston Battery. Good ball. Svantesson tries to settle it. Met doesn't let that happen. Bit of a nervous ball from Patrick Iose. But Matt Watson will shepherd it away from trouble. Good takeaway by Anunga. Svantesson couldn't find space. Indy, by the way, does have one more substitution they can make. Just they're looking to kind of stretch a little time at this juncture. One minute of the 5 elapsed. Great ball by Barrett. A 3-3 draw here a year ago, a 2-1 loss a few weeks later in Charleston. When we talk about these teams being in a playoff position and expected to be playoff teams, it's very early in the season to use this cliche, but I think it's applicable here, Brad. It's kind of felt like a playoff match.
It has.
Hackshaw, fantastic. Does he get one against his own team? His old team. Kelly, a bit aggressive there, but that took a touch off a Charleston player. That will be a corner, absolutely. A fortuitous bounce for the Indy 11. And more of the sands of the hourglass will fall to the bottom in favor of the home team.
That'll kill 30, 45 seconds before you even kick the ball. But as we've seen, it only takes them one run. Cannot click off.
Indy 11 fans have not seen their team lose a home match in this building since July 4th of last year. And Hackshaw currently on the turf, stretching out just a little bit. And he may be done for the night because it looks like we're going to see Mitch Osmond get to make his Indy 11 debut. Osmond is at the 4th official. Osmond originally from Australia, but played college soccer here in Indiana at tiny Calumet College of St. Joseph. Was first team All-American in 2018. He was a late draft pick by Minnesota United in the MLS Super Draft. Went to camp with the Indy 11. This has been a night where, even with so many familiar names and faces carrying over from Wednesday's Open Cup match, guys like Osmond and Farias get an opportunity to feature here. Obviously, Farias for a much longer period of time, but Osmond being asked to come on at a key moment. And originally, it was supposed to be, I think, Enevoldsen that was coming off for Osmond. But Hackshaw certainly acted like it's going to be him coming off for Osmond.
And then what's the move you make when you pull a back off the field? Who do you drop back there? The Swiss Army knife, Matt Watson, who plays absolutely anywhere, virtually flawlessly.
So it is Osmond coming on. Enevoldsen is exiting. Hackshaw over by the 4th official. So the Indy 11 playing a man down. And all of this has taken about 60 to 90 seconds off the clock. So we will go past 5 minutes of added time, no doubt. Hackshaw asking to be waved back on, and now gets the sign he can return. Kelly comes out of there with it. Again, past 5 minutes, but because of the sub, because of the Hackshaw injury, I would expect at least 6 minutes before this comes to its conclusion.
And might have one run left in this game.
Lewis can't get it past Patty Barrett. Eyes turned towards the referee for a glance at the wristwatch. It hasn't happened yet. It was a 94th minute equalizer last year in this building for the Battery. Could there be one in the 96th or the 97th? That touch by Farias goes a long way in making sure that does not happen. And Kelly gonna have to do a bit more with it. A late goal. The only goal belongs to Tyler Pasher, and all 3 points belong to the Indy 11 this evening.